what is important really is I'll give you a narration of what my own father told me. He was a liberation war fighter. At one time I was complaining that things have become so terribly hard, Baba. I can't even come here to the rural areas with the groceries, especially your lovely whiskey. Then he told me that, no, my son, when things were hard for me, I left school and went to Mozambique to join the liberation war. And I asked him, so do you want me again, Baba, to go and join the liberation war? He says, it is up to you to take up the struggle and to make sure that you define yourself. Because I defined myself. That is why I'm on a war veteran pension. That is why I'm sitting here on this small plot that was allocated to me. So what gave me strength was his word that I should define myself. We are at a point that as Zimbabwe we should define ourselves. Where do we want to go from here? From this Rubicon that we are on this road. How do we disentangle ourselves from this albatross of the Inini Chete Chete mantra that we find ourselves in? It comes deep within us again, even in our own spirituality. We need to then go back and say, what is it that defined the Mugagawa Declaration?
Yeah.
What is it that defined even the ZANU-PF code in 1984, which said you and Nitnebasam Zimbabwe? What is it that defined us when we even formed cooperatives in 1982, even 1981, of working together, of making sure that we have got Ubuntu, we are united for a purpose. I remember way back in 1982 when I was 8 years old, we would go to the Independence Day celebration at Glenora Hall. Everybody would come from Glenora with their small cups, because obviously there will be free food and there will be free mayo and free drink. We were a united community by then, but now we are so disunited to the point that we have all tend to be capitalists. I don't know whether I want to limit the capitalists, but we have tended not to be capitalists, but to be selfish. At times we run, you don't feel for the person next door. You don't feel for the neighbor down the street. So that in itself does not speaks that we need to find each other in Zimbabwe. And how do we find each other? Like Mama was saying, the role of the church must be there.
Yes.
The role of the youth must be there. The role of the women, generality and gender must be there. And the role of the peasant, farmer, must be well respected, and it must be there. And how do we then capture it? We intend to capture it through a mass opposition or mobilization exercise that brings together everyone. That says everyone must sit at the table. Everyone must speak to a Zimbabwe that he or she wants. And we do not intend to dictate to the people of Zimbabwe what they must have. But the people of Zimbabwe must speak to us through the various engagements and the various programs. It's like that we craft a people's manifesto for 2018. It's like that we work with the people in 2018, rather than to walk by ourselves and only to find that at the back there we don't have people, but we have got different mansions that we have built for ourselves. We have got different, blocks that we've built ourselves, especially the youth of the country. I want to say that it is not proper to define the youth of the country as people who should be getting 15% or you can just try and open a youth bank. To us as a political party, we found that it is actually an insult, because the capital of the country is not in the hands of the majority, and the majority are the youth of the country.
Yes, that's true.
And if the capital of the country is not in the hands of the youth, for example, I'll give you an example that if you are to go around the country, of all the people who are beyond 40, they do not have even savings in their own bank account.
That's true.
So they cannot invest in anything because they do not have capital. The generation who has capital is the older generation. So we need to address that gap. And you find out that the 40s and below are the most productive people.
That's true. Active.
They are the most active people even within the economy, even within agriculture. They are the most active people. But these are empowerment, 15% empowerment, they've been tokens. They're not addressing the fundamental issue that capital must be made available. Productive capital, that is. Not what we saw with youth fund and so forth and so forth and so forth. That does not speak to the youth. So the youth must be spoken to through the sovereign national wealth fund, which must be able to say that at least 50% of the country's wealth must be, of the country's capital, must be resourced within the youth of the country. It's like that we open now again our industries, we begin again to work along those lines. But the issue, my report, which has crept into it, is this issue of delinquents among the youth that says that if you receive capital, the next thing you must be able to splash and not use it productively, because you are not answerable for it. Because it has come because you belong to this political party, because of partisanship. Obviously, when things are obtained through partisanship, nobody will want to account for those things. That is generally the demise we found out with many of the programs of empowerment, especially even for women.
Yeah, that's true.
Many have taken money from Seed2Co, many have taken money from other lending institutions because of political expediency, and obviously they have not managed to return it. It has not been revolving again. So we are quite happy that with this alliance here, we will speak to the economic issues that needs to be addressed to the people of Zimbabwe towards a transformation agenda and towards a new trajectory that says every Zimbabwean must have a role to play, irrespective of position in society and irrespective of even education, even color, and even gender as well. Those things are important to us, and they speak to us as a generation. Thank you.